Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Nelia. Welcome back to my channel and back for another video. If you're new here, hi, welcome, come on in. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 things I've stopped doing to my fine natural hair that I've seen has really changed my hair growth journey. My hair is now thicker, fuller, growing at a quicker rate. I'm overall really happy with where I am right now, and I wanted to share some of those things that I stopped doing and that maybe you're doing so we can all just, thrive and grow our hair together. So while I'm talking, I'm gonna actually be doing my hair. I don't know what's under this bonnet. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Oh, okay. This kind of brings me to my first point, and one of the #1 things I just completely stopped doing are wash and goes. Now I don't say that to say I'm never gonna do wash and goes ever again, but I definitely cut back on them so much. It was with my fine natural hair that I was getting the most single strand knots with wash and goes, and it was so bad. I remember just the back of my nape area, the kitchen y'all call it, this area. Oh my goodness, the knots were clumps of knots, and I would literally have to just trim them out. There's no way around it, honestly. And I realized when I cut back on the wash and goes that really helped. So not only was I doing wash and goes as my go-to natural hairstyle, I was also, throwing it up in a bonnet at night and squishing my ends together, and ultimately just making the single strand knots worse. So lately I have been experimenting with a lot of twist outs. As you can see, I love a good little twist out. I'm happy with this. We're still working with it. We're still figuring out the best twist out method, but this has been one of my go-to natural hairstyles instead of wash and goes. Like I said, I'm never gonna stop completely doing a wash and go, but it will no longer be the go-to for me, and that just took time for me to learn. You could definitely still grow your hair with a wash and go, but not I. The second thing I stopped doing to my natural hair is the lock method. If you don't know what that is, that's just a technique of moisturization, and lock stands for liquid, oil, and cream. And it was really popular for years. It probably still is a popular method for naturals to moisturize their hair, first using a liquid, then sealing with an oil, and then a cream. Yeah, I stopped completely doing that. For me, I figured out that actually LCO worked better for me, so I would do a liquid, a leave-in conditioner, and then I would seal it all up with a light oil. I was learning that my hair being a fine strand and also being low porosity, it would just make it very heavy doing the lock method, so I completely just had to stop doing that. #3, I've stopped over oiling my scalp. Now I know y'all know this oil. Hold on, right here, baby. Okay, we love a little Mayel, growth oil. A lot of people have seen a lot of success with this growth oil, and supposedly you're supposed to apply it to your scalp once a day. Hopefully just once a day. I hope y'all are not doing it 3 times a day. Well, for my strands and my hair and my fine texture and my low porosity self, we're not doing that. I've noticed with my hair, especially when I've cut back on the wash and goes and done more twist outs and things, my hair doesn't need all that, especially not every day. I'm putting things in my scalp maybe once to twice a week. I think oiling it so much was actually causing it to be more dry, which made me think I needed the oil. So then we just had more oil. It was just a mess. Luckily I wash my hair frequently, but still, none of that was truly really necessary. How do you guys do makeup and talk? I'm just barely getting started. I'm also riding on a Peloton today, so I already know what makeup, sis? What is this? So another thing I stopped doing was detangling with tools, more specifically brushes. I love the Tangle Teaser, but I had to cut that out for a good 6 months because I realized it was just causing a lot of damage rather than good with my ends and whatnot. Now I'm not saying that's a bad tool, but I think the way it's being used and how frequently it's being used can cause more damage. So I changed over to the Felicia Leatherwood brush. I'll show you that. So here's the Felicia Leatherwood brush. Please excuse the hair. This is a real raw video. So this is the Felicia Leatherwood brush. Okay, and then this is a Tangle Teaser brush. So You see the difference, right? So I completely kind of fell back on the Tangle Teaser and focused more on the Felicia Leatherwood brush. But even before I touched that world, I decided to focus a good 6 months on finger detangling. And now that I think about it, I should have made a video about that because it could have probably helped somebody. But finger detangling really changed the game for me. Like, I really have more respect for it and the patience it takes. I mean, now it doesn't take me that long, but finger detangling was just it for me. It really helped cut back on the single strand knots and less shedding and less pulling of my hair and things of that nature. So I really think that also helped with just the growth and the quickness of my hair. The quickness of the growth of my hair. And when I refer to the growth of my hair, I'm referring back to this quote quote big chop that I did 2 years ago during the pandemic, I think it was. I'll insert a picture. Yeah, so I cut my hair, and I cut it for other reasons which I'll get to, but I cut my hair and it's grown back. Like, as you can see, like, the inches are back, you know, it's grown out. Thank you, Jesus. So it actually surprisingly grew really fast for me, and I just really had to sit and think of what I was changing and what I was doing with this new head of hair. The last 5th tip that I have for you guys that helped my hair journey: I stopped taking certain medications. And I'm not saying that you should stop your medications, but I realized that certain medications was making I'm an English major, so it bothers me. Certain medications were making my hair thin out. And, you know, I thought I was part of the fine natural hair community. But as my hair has grown back since stopping the medication and cutting it all off, my hair is on the thicker side of the fine spectrum. It's still fine, but it's not too thin in certain areas anymore. And I really had to step back and see, what was I taking? What was I eating? What was I ingesting into my body daily? So for me, not saying that this is the reason for your, you know, natural hair problems, but for me, birth control. That really changed my hair, and I didn't know it was changing my hair. I have been taking birth control for almost 10 years, y'all. 10 years. And I did not know that my hair before birth control was way thicker than it was. Like, I just wasn't paying attention to it, right? And I think that's because when I started taking birth control, I was in college, and in college, you know, natural hair was slowly starting to pop off, but I was kind of by myself in that realm. And so I was just starting to grow my natural hair out. So I didn't know really what its full potential. So now that I, you know, stopped taking birth control, I realized that my hair was growing in different textures all over my scalp, and it was just really a mess, which led to my big chop. I was like, let's just start over. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I'm assuming it's the birth control because that was the biggest change I made to my diet, right? So we cut out the birth control. Now my hair is thicker as hell. Like, it's thicker, still on the fine side, but it's definitely a major change from 10 years ago or so. So I would just highly recommend and encourage you to look at your medications, maybe new supplements you're trying, and keeping track of your hair. Is it thicker? Is it thinner? Is it breaking off more? Is it stronger? It could be a pro, it could be a con, but I just think that's something that people don't really talk about a lot. Medication and all these other things do have side effects that we may not be aware of, our doctor didn't tell us, or we didn't do our own research. Perfect example of me. Okay, so just like a bonus tip, I also stopped long-term protective styling. And what I mean by is I'm no longer keeping my braids and things of that nature in my hair for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Like, cut it out, y'all. Now, I understand the whole getting your money's worth and all that, but the health of my hair is worth more than spending the coin, I guess. That sounds like a bad thing to say, but it's also kind of true for me. I want healthy hair. That's one of my goals. So if I put a style in and leave it in too long, that kind of defeats my goal and slows me down, right? So I would like to say I don't try to keep a style in longer than, well, even 2 months is stretching it for me. I get bored easily anyways, but 2 months seems too long for me. The braids I just had in was 2 months, and I was like, cool, you know, I was ready to move on. Like, I know that might seem wild to some people, like 2 months, child, but Again, I did those braids myself, and even if I didn't, they're knotless braids. They're not lasting that long anyways. I remember I was following a stylist on, I follow a stylist on Instagram who was talking about how many clients come in from damage coming from braids, the faux locks, the crochet, just the overall neglect, and she has to bring that hair back to life just for her clients to go back and get some more braids. So it's like a cycle, you know, and I think it just depends on the person and what your personal goals are. I personally want, like I said, I want to grow my hair out. I want it to be in the best shape as it can be, and long-term styling for months on end doesn't work for me. All right, you guys, those are the 5 things I stopped doing to my natural hair, plus a little bonus one at the end. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Leave down below something you stopped doing to your natural hair and you've really seen an improvement since you stopped it. I'm always curious, you know, what other people's routines and things are. So leave a comment down below. Give me a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe, follow your girl for more content like this, fitness, health, all that type of thing, all here on my channel, Nelia Bedelia. And if you're on TikTok, go ahead and follow me over there for some more content. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.